Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're stepping into, well, a pretty shadowy world, really, full of secrets, hidden motives, maybe even some lost treasure.
Definitely feels that way.
Our source material is excerpts from the Black Abbot. So think like grand old estates, maybe a bit rundown.
Fosseway Manor, yeah.
Exactly. Whispers of old legends, and just a whole bunch of characters who all seem to have their own secrets.
It's quite the setup.
So our mission here is to unpack what's going on around Fosseway Manor, this spooky Black Abbot figure, and yeah, that hint of hidden treasure.
And it's not just a simple story, is it? It's all about how these characters interact, their relationships.
And how this old ghost story suddenly cropping up again sort of stirs the pot.
Precisely. We need to look at how all these pieces, fit together to create the mystery.
Okay, let's quickly run through the main people we're dealing with. First up, Lord Shelford, apparently called Harry sometimes.
Right, Harry Shelford.
Then his half-brother, Dick Alfred. Leslie Gwin, she used to be engaged to Lord Shelford.
The former fiancé.
And her brother, Arthur Gwin, who's also Lord Shelford's lawyer. So that's interesting.
Adds another layer. And don't forget Mary Wenner, the ex-secretary.
Right, Mary Wenner. And Fabian Gilder, he used to work for Arthur Gwin.
Arthur's former head clerk, yeah.
Yeah.
So quite a few interconnected people.
Definitely sounds like it.
And we're thrown right into the mystery almost immediately, aren't we? With Miss Wenner turning up at the manor.
Yeah, she comes all the way from London, and then Dick Alfred just turns her away at the door.
On Mr. Alfred's orders, apparently. Which straight away tells you something's not quite right there.
It really does. Why refuse entry to a former secretary? What's he trying to hide?
Exactly. What's the secret there? It hints at, tensions within the household right from the start.
Totally. It's not normal behavior, especially if she, maybe hoped for more than just being a secretary.
Good point. Creates that immediate suspicion. And then layered on top of this, you have the local legend, the Black Abbot of Fosseway.
This, 700-year-old ghost story.
Yeah, and suddenly everyone's talking about it again. It casts this kind of eerie, uncertain mood over everything.
So is it just background color, or is it actually playing a part?
That's the question, isn't it? Is it just folklore, or is someone maybe using it deliberately?
Or even pretending to be it.
Could be. It adds this whole layer of doubt. Are people spooked by a real ghost, or is something else going on?
And you mentioned the relationships. We see hints of that too, right? Leslie and Dick, for instance?
Yeah, there seems to be some kind of dynamic there. And Arthur Gwin, the brother, may be having some financial issues. It all just builds this atmosphere where you feel like everyone's got something they're not saying.
Okay, let's dig into some of those threads. Early on, Dick Alfred catches Lord Shelford reading about the Black Abbot.
Right, in the newspaper. And Shelford seems really, really focused on it, almost preoccupied.
Is it fear? Or just fascination? Or maybe something else entirely?
It's hard to tell initially. But it definitely connects to that line Dick mentions later about the dreadful secret, which hung like a cloud over Fosseway Manor.
Ooh, yeah, that's intriguing. What kind of secret?
We don't know yet. But the abbot seems linked somehow. And then you have that conversation between Leslie and Dick.
Where she basically calls him out, right? Says he doesn't want her marrying Harry and taking charge of the manor.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It really brings that potential power struggle to the surface.
And Dick's response about the dreadful secret, it just hangs there. What could be so bad?
It definitely hooks you. Is it family history? Money problems? Something criminal? The possibilities just spin out.
And Lord Shelford isn't just reading newspapers. He's obsessed with some old book.
Yeah, this vellum-covered book. It details old financial stuff, apparently, and keeps mentioning a chisel.
Chisel? What's that?
We don't know for sure. Could be an old term for an account book.
Yeah.
Or maybe code?
Code for the treasure, perhaps.
Possibly. In Shelford's own words, his desire for life and the end of fear, it suggests he's really struggling with something deep down.
He sounds tormented. What is he so afraid of?
Exactly. It adds this personal dimension to the whole mystery. Now, things get a bit more sneaky.
With Miss Wenner again.
Yes. After being turned away, she goes to see Arthur Gwin, the lawyer. And she's got a plan.
Oh.
She claims she knows about the Shelford treasure. And she proposes they team up, find it, split it. But on the condition they get married first.
Whoa. Okay, that's bold.
Very bold. Shows her ambition, right? And it confirms the treasure rumors are definitely swirling around.
She must think she knows something solid from her time working there.
Seems likely.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Arthur Gwin is dealing with this other guy, Gilder, about selling a farm.
The former clerk.
That's him. And interestingly, Miss Wenner is also asking around about Gilder, about his money, and the fact he just bought a cottage nearby Ravensroll Cottage.
So Gilder's suddenly buying property in the area? That sounds convenient.
It certainly makes him a person of interest. What's his angle? Does he know something too?
Feels like everyone's circling something, and Leslie overhears Arthur talking about Gilder.
Yeah, she hears Arthur calling Gilder a sly old fox because he secretly rented some fisherman's cottage.
Okay, so even Arthur, Leslie's brother, doesn't trust Gilder. Why?
Good question. Maybe he knows Gilder's reputation from when they worked together, or maybe it's something more recent.
It adds to the intrigue around Gilder.
And then Gilder makes his move on Arthur, a really brazen one.
What does he do?
He basically says to Arthur, "Let me marry Leslie and I'll pay off your debts."
What? He wants to trade Leslie for debt settlement.
Pretty much. And worse, he implies he can expose Arthur for forging bills if he doesn't play ball.
Wow. Okay, so Gilder is playing hardball using blackmail.
Absolutely. It shows you how desperate Arthur's situation might be and how ruthless Gilder is. Secrets are definitely currency here.
No kidding. This is getting complicated.
And the tension keeps building. Dick Alfred confronts Gilder directly.
About what?
About buying that farm, Red Farm. Dick makes it clear he doesn't trust Gilder's motives, especially regarding Leslie.
So Dick's stepping up to protect Leslie.
It seems that way. He seems more protective than her own brother, maybe.
And the confrontations don't stop there, do they? Leslie sees Dick arguing with someone near the Abbey ruins at night.
Right. Late at night near the ruins. We assume it's probably Gilder, or maybe Arthur.
Which ramps up the whole Black Abbot connection again. What's happening out there by the Abbey?
The ruins are becoming a real focal point. Is the ghost story just a cover for something else happening there? Secret meetings?
Could be. And then Dick shows up unexpectedly at Arthur's place in London.
And Arthur completely freaks out. He's really agitated.
Which makes him look super guilty of something.
Definitely suggests Arthur's involved in secrets he doesn't want Dick finding out about.
Meanwhile, Dick's trying to figure out the Black Abbot stuff himself, right? Talking to the staff.
Yeah, he talks to Thomas, the footman. But Dick seems pretty skeptical about any actual ghosts. He's looking for a more logical explanation.
He's the practical one in all this.
Or seems to be. But then things take a really dark turn.
What happens?
Thomas, the footman Dick was talking to, he's found dead, having fallen from a window at Fosseway Manor.
Oh, no.
And he's dressed in a Black Abbot costume.
What? Okay, so definitely not a ghost. This is getting serious.
Absolutely. This changes everything. It points towards, well, maybe murder hidden behind the ghost story.
And then the police get involved?
Sergeant Putler arrives. And his investigation confirms the costume was hired. So it was definitely planned. Someone put him in that costume.
This moves it firmly into crime territory.
No doubt. And just as the investigation starts, Lord Shelford vanishes.
Harry disappears right after Thomas dies. That looks incredibly suspicious.
Extremely suspicious. Where did he go? Is he running from something? Is he involved? Or is he maybe another victim?
So many questions. And things get dangerous for Leslie, too.
Yes. She realizes she's being followed while she's out walking near the manor.
Okay, this is escalating. It's not just secrets and rumors anymore. There's a real physical threat.
Someone is actively watching them, maybe targeting them. The danger feels very real now.
And then she gets that note.
Ah, yes, the warning note. Lord Shelford is safe. Don't search for him or he will be killed. And signed.
The Black Abbot, spelled with one B.
Exactly. That spelling mistake is interesting, isn't it? A slip-up by whoever's behind this.
Maybe, but it sounds like a kidnapping threat now, using the Abbot persona.
It certainly frames it that way. Keep away or he gets hurt. Adds this huge layer of fear and urgency.
Just when you think you have a handle on things.
Something else comes out. Mary Wenner, the former secretary, reveals something crucial.
What's that?
She says Lord Shelford wasn't just holed up in the manor. He'd been sneaking out secretly at night.
Really? So he wasn't the total recluse we thought?
Apparently not. Which totally changes how we see him. What was he doing on these night trips?
Was it connected to the treasure? Or the Abbot stuff? Or something else entirely?
It deepens the mystery around him significantly. And then, Dick and Mary Wenner make a huge discovery.
What do they find?
A hidden entrance under Shelford Abbey, leading to a vault.
A secret vault. So the Abbey does have secrets hidden beneath it.
Looks like it. It confirms those rumors of secret passages. Maybe this is where the treasure is. Or where Shelford is.
So Dick goes down there.
He does. He goes into the vault. But it's empty.
Oh. No treasure. No Shelford.
No. But there are signs someone's been there recently, footprints, disturbed dust, that kind of thing.
So the mystery continues. Someone's definitely using these tunnels.
The tension is really high at this point, and this leads Leslie to take action herself.
What does she do?
She sees a figure she thinks is Lord Shelford heading into the Abbey ruins, and she follows him, determined to find out what's going on.
That's brave, leading to a confrontation.
Yes, and the truth that comes out is, well, pretty shocking.
Go on.
Lord Shelford is alive, and he is hiding in the tunnels under the Abbey.
Okay, so he wasn't kidnapped.
No, he's there because he's terrified, utterly paranoid, hiding from imagined threats.
So his mental state has really declined.
Severely. He's delusional, making accusations against everyone, even Dick. He seems to think everyone's plotting against him. The secret, whatever it was, seems to have broken him.
That's tragic. And dangerous.
Very dangerous. At one point, while Dick is climbing down a rope into a flooded part of the tunnel, Shelford, in his paranoia, accidentally cuts the rope.
What? So Dick and Leslie are trapped down there with him, and he's unstable.
Exactly. It's something incredibly dangerous for them, highlighting just how unpredictable Shelford has become.
Wow. Okay. But amidst all this chaos, do they find the treasure?
They do. But not where you'd expect. Not in the vault.
Where then?
The old diary reveals it. A previous Lord Shelford, generations ago, hid gold in the riverbed, the Raisins-Rill River, during a drought.
In the river, so it was hidden in plain sight, almost.
Kind of, yeah. Cleverly concealed by nature itself, not locked away, just sunk in the river.
That's a brilliant twist. Sometimes the simplest hiding places are the best.
It really is. But then comes the biggest revelation of all.
Oh, there's more.
Oh, yeah. Remember the Black Abbot? The spooky figure, the costume?
Yeah. Who was it really? Was it Thomas before he died? Or someone else?
It was Dick Alfred.
Dick, the skeptical half-brother. He was the Black Abbot.
He was. The whole time.
Why?
Not for evil reasons, apparently. He was trying to protect Leslie and trying to figure out what was really going on with the secrets, with Lord Shelford's instability. He used the legend as a cover, essentially.
Wow. Okay. That ties everything together, doesn't it?
It really does. All those early weird events, Miss Wenner being turned away, the ghost sightings, Shelford's obsession with the diary.
It all connects back to the treasure in the river, Shelford's paranoia, and Dick playing the ghost to try and manage the situation.
Exactly. It's a complex web, but it does resolve. The initial mysteries are explained.
Definitely an aha moment there. But, it leaves us with questions still.
For sure.
Like, what happens to Lord Shelford now, given his mental state?
That's a big one. He clearly needs help, not judgment, perhaps.
And what about Dick? I mean, impersonating a ghost, potentially interfering with things? Are there consequences for what he did? Even if his motives were good?
Probably. His methods were, shall we say, unconventional. There could be legal issues or just personal fallout.
And the treasure itself. Now that it's found, how does that change things for everyone involved? Money can complicate things.
Absolutely. Sudden wealth can shift dynamics, create new problems, even as it solves old ones.
It really gives you a lot to think about, the whole idea of deception. Why do people do it?
Right. How far would you go to protect someone you care about? Or to uncover a truth you think needs uncovering?
Was Dick's whole spooky act justified in the end? It's debatable, isn't it?
Very debatable. And considering Fosseway Manor's long history, you have to wonder, are there even more secrets buried there? Maybe this isn't the end of the story.
A great final thought. Makes you wonder what else might be lurking. Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It was fascinating to unpack. My pleasure.